Hi, this is Joey Ebanks, and I'm just letting you all know that the Joey Ebanks Show is for paid programming. I accept all liability from the show. My guests will accept theirs, and all callers, and I am not affiliated in any way with the Paramount Group of Companies, its managers or employees. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Joey Ebanks Radio Show right here on Vibe 98.9 FM. We're about to kick off this show. It took us a while to get started. I do apologize for being a few minutes late, but we had to fit a lot of people into the studio this evening, get all the logistics worked out. In the studio we have today, waiting to jump into this debate and public issue, is my wife Yolanda. We have Jada, my 13-year-old, Jessica, Jonathan, and Jojo, and we have my two friends, Patrice and Juliet, who are going to be asking them some tough questions. So they're here. The number to call as well once they get into the show is 946-9898. Do sit back, enjoy the show, and let's kick it off. Juliet, you want to just kick us off?
Absolutely. Thank you so much for being here and letting us have the opportunity to talk to you. Ladies and gentlemen, you're listening to this show today, and we're talking to the family of the host of the Joey Ebanks Show. For those of you who listen every week, we know that Joey has a lot to say about a lot of people and a lot of situations. He's been arrested, he's been bailed, he's facing lawsuits, and has been given the reputation of either being a drunk or a drug addict or a crazy person. He's shunned sometimes by former friends, and even Patrice and I have been asked, why do we come on his show? Today we're going to talk to the people who know him best and who care about him the most, and get an insight into the real Joey Ebanks. More importantly, we will find out how this entire situation has affected his family. My co-host Patrice and I will be speaking directly to the hearts of the Joey Ebanks family. So, let's begin. First question I want to ask of you, this has been a long, tough journey. How has it affected you? Who wants to go first?
I'll go first. This has affected me by inspiring me and making me stronger to see my daughter go out there and fight and to try and make that difference. So it's affected me by making me stronger and making me wiser.
Okay. Anybody else want to answer that?
Sure, I will. This has affected me. I'm just so proud of my father for standing up and taking on this fight. And he's not alone. We're all here with him, and I'm proud of him.
Yes.
Hi everyone, I'm Yolanda Ebanks. This journey has been extremely stressful, but I think it's a journey Joey has to do, and I'm going to stand by him throughout this journey.
Thank you all very much for answering that. That's heartening for, I think, Joey Ebanks' listeners, whether they're supporters or not, to hear. And my question is, what has been the worst day for you? I think his youngest would like to answer that first.
When he got arrested.
How did you feel about that?
Very sad.
What has been the worst day for any of you who are...
Well, definitely this entire situation has been really difficult, but the worst day I have to say was the day he got arrested, because what was so difficult about it was that from 7 in the morning until 10:30 that night, me and my oldest son was at the station, and we tried to get answers just for someone to say he was okay, and not till 10:30 that night that we finally got an answer saying he wasn't going to come home and he was okay. And I mean, that was really stressful. It would only take a second for someone to say, you know, he's okay and he is going to be staying in tonight, to give us some peace of mind. So I was really disappointed in that, and it was a really difficult day.
Is there anyone else who would like to answer?
Yeah, like my mother said, the worst day was the day we got the day he got arrested. You know, it was difficult. The police, nobody didn't want to give us any information, so they had us worried and stuff like that. So yeah, that would be the worst day.
At the time that my father was arrested, first I was pregnant, and it was really overwhelming to have to deal with what we dealt with that day, not knowing when he was going to be able to come home and what was happening and if he was okay. So that was really difficult for me.
Sounds like a really tough day.
I would have to say the most tough day was when he got laid off. When he got suspended.
Very good. We know that it's a bit tough for you to be answering all these questions, but we really appreciate you being here and sharing with us. I'm going to go on to another question because we're talking about how you felt about the day he got arrested. Now, you obviously didn't ask for any of this. You obviously, it is something that happened, and as you said, you're supporting him and it has to be done. So, do you ever feel angry about the whole situation at any point? Has it made you angry at any time?
I haven't really been angry. I've just realized that I need to be strong with my father and stand up and try and help everybody by making Cayman better and to sift out this corruption.
Okay.
I have been. I was very angry, but what I'm angry about is to know that people are so cruel and so rude. And when people are going through difficult times, it seems like people enjoy your downfall. So that's what most of all makes me angry about this whole thing.
Mm-hmm. Because when people ask the question, why do you come on the Joey Ebanks show, I said, my answer to them is, it is like somebody who has an incurable disease, if you like, and you're saying, but just because they're sick, you shouldn't go around them, or you should avoid them because you may catch it, kind of thing. And I think that is so unfair. You're the family, and yes, you're supporting your husband, your father, and so on. And if we as a community, from what you're saying, could just embrace you and uplift you, regardless of what the outcome is, that is so important. And I can appreciate how you would have felt. Does anybody else want to answer that? Have you ever?
Sure. I would say the worst day was
What made you angry?
Oh, sorry. What made me angry was to know that the Cayman people, not necessarily all the people, but personally the Cayman people, to know that they wouldn't stand up behind him and to help him, would rather beat him down than to help him out. And he not doing this for himself or to get money or to get anything else. He wants to do this for the Cayman people. So when they turn around and do bad stuff to him, say things about him and stuff like that behind his back, that hurts me to know my own people are trying to beat down my father when he wants to help him.
Thank you very much for that, Jojo. I'm going to throw this out to Yolanda personally. Have you lost any friends, gained any, as a result of Joey's postings, his radio show, the arrests, and all of the other activities that have followed since then?
Well, you know what they say, when you're in trouble, you know your true friends. All I would say is I thank God for my family.
Actually, I want to throw that out to the rest of the family as well.
I've actually became closer to one of my older friends because she's standing behind my dad as well, and she's really proud of what he's doing. So I got closer to one of my older friends through this, actually.
Excellent.
That's good.
And little Joe?
I haven't lost any friends. I've actually given some.
Wow, that's good.
Given some.
That's good. That's very good.
And how old are you, Joe?
9.
Jonathan?
9. Jonathan, sorry. Jonathan, I think that's a marvelous thing. It tells us that when we grow as adults, we start to forget what's really important. As for a 9-year-old to still be friends with people through a situation like this, it says something.
So, as a family, can you tell us what you're doing to kind of hold yourself together? I know you just spoke about how the family, you kind of embrace each other, you love each other a little bit more, but as a family, can you say what it is you're doing that keeps the faith and keep you strong throughout this? I see Jonathan wants to answer this one first.
Just by loving each other.
Wonderful.
That's wonderful.
Okay, anybody else?
We're already a pretty tight family. I don't live at home anymore, but every Sunday I go up, and my dad usually has a big lunch cooked up for us. So we get together every Sunday, and we can discuss anything openly. So nothing has really changed. We're still as tight as we were, and still support each other the same.
Okay. Yeah. Well, we're coming for lunch next Sunday, okay? Okay.
Well, I was brought up I went to Truefield School. I was brought up in the church. So my family are Christian people, so we pray a lot, and me and the kids talk more openly about everything. So I think we have become closer now.
Okay. So even throughout this journey, as rough as it is, it is a unifying kind of a situation in any case, because even though you've had a strong bond, you're able to still grow even stronger, and that is so important.
Correct.
The family, because when everybody else leaves you, you have only your family to lean on.
Yes,
right.
That is correct.
I'm actually going to do a 360 and ask you a question that I hope you will answer. Have you, at any point during this process, tried to stop him from doing what he's doing?
Well, if anyone knows Joey, you can't stop him from what he want to do. I can give him advice, but we can't stop Joey from what he intends to do.
Okay.
No.
And I think Jonathan wanted to answer that. No? Change your mind? That's okay. That's perfectly right. Okay. What's the one thing throughout these last, I guess, about 5 or 6 months? What's the one thing that he's done that you've found most amazing?
I think the most amazing thing that he's done is be able to stand up and stay strong through all the bad comments and responses that he has gotten.
Nice.
Go ahead, Jonathan.
By trying to stop corruption.
Very good. Yes.
I think the most amazing thing he's done is to be able to stand almost alone in this, and I already know that my dad is a very strong person. I don't have to worry about him too much, but it is amazing how he is able to just hold his head up high through everything, and not break down or show any discomfort in front of us as his children. It's just strong all the time.
Do you think maybe he does that in private, though?
I'm not sure. I've never seen it. He's always been able to handle anything that he's gone through. I mean, I've always been there, but he's really tough.
Okay.
Well, let's just say Joey is human. He has feelings. When people are constantly saying things to beat you down, of course he's gonna go behind the doors and feel a way about it. But from time I knew Joey, his goal was to help people, and it's amazing all that he's going through, but he's still helping people. So that's amazing.
So that tells you the character of the person.
It does.
So we're going to go to a commercial break, but again, I'm really enjoying seeing into your heart and seeing how you feel. It's actually giving me goose pimples, I must tell you, but it is really fantastic to have you here and to talk with us. So we're going to go to a commercial break and come back and ask you a few more questions. We have his family here with us this evening, and we can see they're more relaxed than when we first begun. And we're getting an insight into who Joey Ebanks is and how his family is holding itself together. If you want to give us a call, you can do so at 946-9898. We do ask you to be respectful to the family, but we're open to taking your calls. So 946-9898. So back to the questions. What advice would you give to any other family going through a similar situation or maybe a tough time? What advice would you give them?
By just sticking together and go through it as a family.
And you know, that is the 9-year-old who's given us that kind of advice, and it shows that he is on the ball. He's a highly intelligent kid, and he knows that family must stick together in order to go through these difficult situations. Anybody else?
Yeah, to be careful and to watch what they say and how they act and stuff like that, because people out there are watching you and stuff like that, and you gotta be careful?
I would just probably say good luck, and we're here with you. If you need us, call us.
So now you have the experience. You think you can kind of share with others and help them to walk through that.
Yep.
I would definitely say to stay strong, support each other, and trust in God.
Jada, did you want to offer some advice?
No, thank you.
Okay, no worries.
That's fine.
Okay. Just wanted to ask you that, just to take a step back away from your deep personal responsibility and participation in this process. Do you think we, as a community, Caymanians, do you think we still take things for granted? Are we still too trusting?
I think we take things for granted. We don't realize the importance of things until something terrible happens. We need to look at our family, care more about our family, and just you just don't have them there to give lunch to, dinner to. You have to show love and appreciate them, and we certainly do take things for granted. But this has certainly wake me up.
Following on from that question, same question, but another addition to that question is that in terms of taking things for granted, do you think that we still believe that if you come from a certain part of the world, you are superior to us, or that you are better than us as Caymanians? Or do you think that it depends on what side of the fence you're from? If your family is poor, you're not as treated as well as those children or families who are coming from maybe a better financial background. Do you think in terms of taking things for granted that we just don't see the true picture, the whole picture?
Well, we are treated different. It depends on where we fall. We are definitely treated different. This is Joey's case is living proof of that.
I think so. I think that Caymanians do take things for granted, and there's still a small mindset here and a narrow, like no one can see outside the box anymore. And I think more education and more people being able to go away and getting exposed to different nations and different families and how different societies operate, that would help us, because there's still this simple gossip and judgment before anything is really proven, and that upsets me. That's sad.
Okay. Do we have a caller on the line? We have a caller on the line. Go ahead.
Yes. Good evening.
Good evening.
Hello.
Yeah.
Hello.
Good evening. Thank you for calling.
Yes. First, I really proud of the Ebanks family to come today and to be in the radio in support of Mr. Ebanks. And I think always family is very important to any person. That is the first defense in any person's life. And the trust and belief of a family of any person make him stronger. And I respect Mr. Ebanks' family for their stand and coming today. I am one of the people who become friend with Mr. Ebanks after his case. I see him before in some places and stuff and say hi and stuff, but I become real friend with Mr. Ebanks after his case, because I believe he's an innocent man. And I believe 100% he never done anything wrong.
Okay. Did you have a specific question for his family, though?
Yes.
Go ahead.
I just want to ask you to be stronger and to give more support to Mr. Ebanks, because he needs that. He needs that support.
Okay.
And just my last thing I want to say.
Mm-hmm.
In every nation have somebody to give sacrifice And in Cayman, in this nation, there is people like Mr. Ebanks who have to give sacrifice and fight against corruption and against people who try control the people's life and mind and business and money. And money is not everything in life. All what I ask you, be stronger and support Mr. Ebanks. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you. And you know, the caller, he's asking for you to be stronger, but I think from what you're saying this evening is that you are already very strong. This has made you stronger already. You're sticking with your dad. You're sticking with your husband. And regardless of the outcome, you've already learned a lot from this experience that you can share with the rest of us. I just want to ask the baby. I know he's looking at me because I call him the baby. This is the 9-year-old. What is the one favorite thing you get to do with your dad? What do you enjoy doing the most with him?
Fishing.
Wow, that's
I'm
one
not
of my
surprised.
favorite things too.
I'm not surprised.
Do you find you have more time to do that now, or maybe not as much?
Not as much.
Okay, so you need to have a conversation with your dad. Make sure he knows. Hey, I need that fishing time.
Just question for you. If you could go back to the day and the time that your father told you what was going on, is there anything at this point where you're obviously a stronger and more supportive family than you even were, is there anything that you would tell him to do differently?
Well, I actually, no, I would only, for myself, would be to support him more, to see what more I could do to help him out, because I'm so proud of him and what he's doing and what he's trying to accomplish.
Strong words.
Did you start out being supportive and proud of him, or did you have some questions initially, like, "Oh my God, Daddy, why are you doing this to us?" Or did you find that from the moment he made a decision, you were right there with him? And it's okay if you weren't, but
actually, that's the thing I love about my dad. He's always open with us. No matter what kind of questions I've ever asked him, he always gave me the truthful answer. Mm-hmm. So whenever anything like this popped up and I wanted to ask him, I didn't have to fear that or anything. I could just ask him and he wanted to tell me the truth. So, at first I was nervous with some of the things they were saying about him, but when I talk to him and I hear his side and I hear the truth, then I was behind him 100%.
That's good. That's good. We have another caller on the line. We'll come back to that question. Hi, go ahead.
Hi. I just want to call to say that I'm very, very proud of Mr. Ebanks. Mr. Joe, you're a fresh of breath air to this country because for many, many, many years, everyone knew something was up. Everyone knew behind the doors, something bad was always happening. But you are the very first person who has been brave enough to just step out into the open, unarmed, and you're armed with a lot of information and you're armed with that, but you're not going out like a violent vigilante doing something crazy. You're actually just exposing all the information that this country has longed to find out what's happening. We all deserve to know, and you're the first person, if I could even say, you're the first political candidate in this entire country that's ever come out and been completely transparent. Even if you've been considered a crazy person, a drug addict, whatever, you are the first person that in this country thus far that I can remember that has been completely transparent. And for that, I am very proud of you.
Caller, thank you, caller. Thank you very much for those words of support. We want to ask you a question.
Follow-up question. Do you think now that he has opened the way for others to follow?
Definitely. To me, he's opened up the floodgates. It's just we now need everyone to get on board and start rowing. Not being afraid of what happened, because we're all human beings. We're humans against humans. We all lie. We all cheat. We all, there's always some transgression that someone doesn't want to be found out. But in order for it to be changed, in order for justice to be served, in order for things to become right, we all have to get on board. We all deserve the best.
Thank you so much for that response. I have one more question to ask you. We had a situation earlier in the week in which we had another candidate who had unflattering things posted about them on Facebook, and they were wrestling with the idea of whether or not to respond, whether or not to do something back. What would you say to Joey, to any of the other candidates who are facing their past coming back to haunt them? Because we've all had a past, yes?
Yes.
We've all had a past. What would you say to any of the candidates right now who are facing situations in which they're being threatened to have their past highlighted, and how do they address it, and how do they move forward from it?
Well, that's a difficult question in terms of them, but I will speak from personal experiences. I have, instead of making someone throw my past out there, I have told my past and said, I've learned from it. I'm telling you what I did, how I dealt with it, and how I've come, how far I've come from it. If you've done something bad in your past, the truth is, everybody knows this, no matter how many times they've tried to hide it, the truth will be revealed, no matter what. And so if it's something that's so damning, I would urge them to have the strength. If it's really that damning, have the strength to come out and say it themselves and be strong about it. And, if you haven't learned from it, then, take the punishment that you deserve. But other than that, if you haven't, just come out and say it. And if it's not even true, make sure that you just make it be clear it is not true. Prove yourself.
Thank you.
That's what I've done in my past.
Thank you so much for that response. I think that will be heartening to I think I hear a few sighs of relief of things that may have come out or may have yet to be come out, and we appreciate you allowing us to put you on the spot like this. Thank you so much.
Thank you, no problem.
Yeah, going back to the question that you finished answering, does anybody else want to follow up in terms of were you right there from the beginning, or was there a time that you felt, oh my God, Daddy, why are you doing this to us, before you got to the point that you're in now?
Automatically, I felt a little stressed and worried about my mother, because I'm like her. I'm not a big risk taker, and we try and lead a pretty boring and normal life. But of course, Joey, my dad, does not allow that. But I know who he is. So nothing that anyone says can deter how I feel about him and what I know about him. Right. So when he makes a decision to do something, I automatically jump on board and support it. I just worry about my mom.
Okay. We have a caller on the line. We'll give you a chance to answer that question as well. Go ahead, caller.
Yeah, hello?
Hello.
Yeah, this is man called a little man.
Excellent. Do you have a question for our panel or for our host?
I just want to tell Mr. Joey to keep strong and to remember that God is great and powerful.
All the time. All the time.
And nothing is impossible, you know what I mean?
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Okay.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you for that support.
Yes, ma'am. Mrs. Ebanks. Were you right there from the beginning, or did you feel, oh, Joey, not again. Why are you doing this to me?
Actually, the truth is, I said, what is this again? And I said, Joe, we have to sit down and I need to know everything, because the last time that this happened, I didn't find out till I got to work, and I heard this one say it, and I was like, what is going on? And I said, that was extremely stressful. I said, if we're going to get through this one, which is even worse than the last one, I have to know everything. So I didn't think we sleep at all that night. He told me everything. He showed me everything. And I said, okay, we're going to get through this. I'm not sure what the outcome of this will be. Mm-hmm. I'm going to trust in God. But whatever the outcome is, we're going to remain a family through it all.
Because you've been married like 29 years now. And that's a lifetime for most people. So... Yeah.
I know. Actually, this September will be 29 years.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and someone was like, are you going to stick with Joey?
How can you put up with him?
Yeah. And I was like, yeah, you asking me to leave Joey and miss all this excitement? You got to be kidding.
But I have to ask you all a really serious question that I hope is not going to disturb you, but I want to ask you this question.
Sure.
Joey has said, I am prepared to die. What happens if something happens to him? I mean, obviously, the obvious is there. You know, you're obviously going to feel it, but what?
Well, that would be something that would devastate our family because he is the man of the house, you know. He's our father. We love him so much. But when he says something like that, it means he'll stop at nothing. He'll never stop fighting. He'll never stop pushing to end corruption. So when he says something like that, even though it's scary, that's something that brings me up too. That is something strong that he's saying. So I don't look at that as a negative. I look at that as a positive because he's never going to stop. He's going to make Cayman corruption free.
I don't think about that. But since the question is asked, it's not just one Joey. It's about 5 of us. So if one goes down, the next one will stand up and take his place. And we will make what he's trying to accomplish die out with him.
Wow. That is a ringing endorsement, ladies and gentlemen.
Wow.
The gauntlet has been thrown down. I have a question for Mrs. Ebanks. Yeah. Sorry, if she wanted to follow on.
How do you feel? How do you feel about when he makes that kind of statement?
Actually, it's very scary. But like Jojo say, I think he says it because of the passion he feels, and that's why he says that. But it is concerning and very scary when he said that, or to have to think about that. Mm-hmm. But we'll see him through. We'll see him through.
I like what you said. Well, both of the kids as well, because it is a scary thought. Because even for me, I am not part of the family, but when I hear him say that, I agree with you. It means I am not going to stop until people hear me, until they get it, until they understand, and that is really scary.
But it's heartening to know that as his wife, as his children, that you are prepared to stand behind him, even with that fear and that knowledge that something could possibly happen, and that you are willing to stand in his place should anything happen to him. My question was actually to follow on with, from the night that you found out everything, in which you were shown everything, does that not make you fear for your own life?
Well, I wasn't shown everything. I was shown exactly what the rest of the Cayman Islands and Facebook have seen.
Okay.
I mean, I can't say it's some things that he just could not show me.
Okay, all right.
So what I have seen is what everybody else have.
Excellent. So does that, I guess, perhaps defray some of the concern in terms of for his safety, for his life as well?
It does.
Okay. Is there anyone else who'd like to add to that?
What was the question? Sorry.
The night that your father had to tell you guys everything, or whatever it is that he told you, did that make you fear for your own lives?
Well, I have to say no, because when he explained everything to me, me and him talked separate, and he told me a lot of it. I actually made me want to fight with him, made me want to get behind him, even if that meant my life too, because what he wants to do is to change Cayman for the better, not just for us, but for our grandchildren, our great-grandchildren, so it's a better place for them, so they got jobs in the future and things like that too. So that's something I would want to fight for. That's something I would want to die for.
And again, as a family, I know we're almost to the end of the show, but I am going to give each of you an opportunity to say, if you could give one message to the Caymanian people who are watching and who are not quite sure, should we believe Joey? Is he really telling the truth? Well, here goes crazy Joey again. What would your message be to the Caymanian public?
To give him a chance, at least give him one chance. He will not let you guys down. He will push forward, and everything he's saying he's going to come through with to the fullest. So I would just say to give him a chance, and he won't let you down.
Jonathan, what would you tell people out there? What do you want them to know? Anything in particular you want them to know about your dad?
He's trying to help you stay out. He's trying to help Cayman free of corruption. So give him a chance, please.
I would just say it's okay to be afraid or unwilling to speak up, but please don't punish or abuse a man that is not too afraid to speak out.
I would say, people would believe different things. People are believing in him, some people are not believing in him. But I would say, don't make the situation any worse than it have to be. Give him a chance, make him go to court, make him prove himself. I mean, it can get so stressful when people are just beating you down every single day. Just pray for us and just say something positive, even if it's difficult. That's what I would ask.
Because even if you don't believe in Joey, you don't believe what he's saying, give you all the respect, give you all the dignity that you deserve. At least have an encouraging word, because it doesn't matter whether he's guilty or not guilty. The fact is that you're people, you're human beings, you're part of our community, and we should be reaching out to you regardless. But I know that you have a message that you particularly want to share with K-Man, so I'll let you go ahead and do that.
Good evening, everyone. It has been extremely difficult today. Unlike Joey, I'm not a good public speaker, and this is not something I enjoy doing. I felt that it was important and necessary to come today to share my views and feeling, because as much as possible, I don't want my children, my grandchildren, nor myself to be unnecessary impact from Joey's decision and the stand that he needs to take. I've grown up in a loving, caring, respectful and God-fearing family, and this was extended to everyone. It didn't matter who you were. If anyone out there knew my father, Pedro Echenique, you would understand what I am talking about and know how much he extended himself to others. This was the benefit of being raised in Cayman. We were surrounded by caring, loving and understanding people, no matter what the circumstances were. Although times have changed and Cayman is not what it used to be, I try to ensure in my children that they display the same loving, caring, respectful and God-fearing attitude. This experience with Joey, however, has placed a lot of question and doubt in my children and I. The love, respect and care has not been, in many cases, displayed with us. I'm not asking anyone to agree with Joey or stand by Joey. This is a personal decision. However, I'm asking people of the Cayman Islands to please show my family some respect and please understand and appreciate the hurt and the unnecessary judgment and comments this causes us. Rather than pulling us down, please raise us up in your prayers. Please know good people brings out good in other people. For those of you who are praying for us, I say thank you. To my mother and my sister Teresa and Movida, I say thank you for being there every day. I believe in the power of prayer. However, I also believe that the more people praying for you, the better. Please continue to pray for me and my family. Thank you.
Thank you. What can we say after that? Does any one of you want to do any final words or anything? You're okay? Jonathan?
Please support him.
Jonathan is asking for support for his dad. And for those of you who've been listening, you've had a little insight into the Joey Ebanks family. You see, they're normal people like the rest of us. A loving family, very supportive. They will go to the end for him. And all we can ask is that you give them the respect. You don't have to appreciate what he's doing. You don't have to agree with him. But the family, they need the support. Give them an encouraging word when you see them. Patrice, any final thoughts?
Just wanted to thank all of you, Jada, Jonathan, Joe, and Jessica, I'm sorry, there's a lot of J's in here. Just want to make sure I didn't miss any. And of course, Yolanda. I can only, as a bystander, appreciate how difficult this has been for you as a family, and as individuals, having to live and to work and exist in a community that can be quite judgmental and quite harsh and swift with that judgment. And just to follow on from what Juliet said, if you, whether or not you support what Joey is doing, there really is no need to punish the members of his family. There's no need to punish him, first and foremost, but there's no need to unnecessarily punish his family. To me, that's just immature, and that just shows that you are operating from a different place that's really not necessary and not needed in this process. So I ask you to just show some respect, show some courtesy, show that you've learned the golden rules as you did, as our 9-year-old in the room has shown, has demonstrated, and is now living.
And Joey's just walked in the room. He hasn't been here for the entire show, so let's see if Joey has anything to say.
Well, I was listening from the office and had it turned on in there, and I must say you guys did an excellent job. You've made me very proud, very, very proud. You were honest, you were straight up, and I certainly enjoyed the show. I hope the listening audience enjoyed the show. And again, Patrice and Juliet, of course, you did a fantastic job.
Thank you.
The callers were great. They're still calling. So the callers were great. And one of the things I want to do before I forget is to extend to the Jordanian. Monday's show is his if he'd like to come on. He's called quite frequently. I know. He wants to come on the show, so I'm going to extend. Monday's show is going to be the Jordanian show, and he can come on the air.
Is he going to call himself?
No, we're going to call him this time.
You have to call him. Yes.
I'm setting my phone dial to call him.
Yeah, so again, Juliet, Patrice, thank you so very much. I know we have some more plans for next week for interviewing some more female candidates that you're working on, and I look forward to that as well. And Yolanda, Jada, Jessica, Jonathan, and Jojo, I certainly really appreciate your support. And for you guys coming on here, because this is not easy, and taking calls. And I know, Yolanda, you don't like the public stuff, but you guys did a fantastic job.
Very good, yes.
Now we're going to go and have some fun. Thank you all for listening. Let's take them out, Madam Producer, to a little bit of Eminem that they love so much.
She's so into the family, she forgot the music.